to our podcast, Culture Shock Therapy, where we get into a whole lot of therapy for all of the culture shocks we experienced as third culture kids. We are your hosts. I am Shauna. This is my sister Tessa. And today we were going to be getting into our 11th episode titled Emotional Baggage Claim.
Emotional baggage fees may apply.
Yeah, that's the slogan, which I thought it was just genius because it so reminds us of being at airports all the time. And yeah.
I feel like it's very depicting of a third culture kid as well.
Yeah.
You know how like nowadays they always say, oh, everybody has a backpack, you know, of all these problems and their traumas. And I feel like third culture kids like had that before it was a thing, you know?
We had it before it was cool. We had problems and baggage before it was cool.
So we're kind of, you know, just going right into it.
Yeah. Which, before we do, I kind of just want to like shout out our new background and our setting.
We finally got a new sofa.
Yeah, so we thought this would be just like a really cozy place to film and record, which I am definitely feeling this vibe. It's comfortable.
I like it too, and I think our goal is kind of to like, after we renovate the house, to make this the culture shock therapy location.
But then with like the map, right?
Yeah, we need to like, the whole house is getting turned upside down. But we can't put the sofa there yet, and the table just was less comfortable than the sofa is here.
Yeah.
So welcome to the new corner of the house, which is going to be different again in a few months, but
yeah,
for now.
Our culture shock corner. Yeah, and then after it's renovated, we will have the iconic wooden world map on the background as well, which is really just a part of this podcast.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Very, I feel like I'm saying depicting too much, but it's very depicting of, yeah. So, going back to the topic we have, emotional baggage fees may apply. Do you feel like as a third culture kid that you have a lot of unresolved grief?
Probably, yeah.
Would you care to explain?
But honestly, I do think so. But it's only recently, in like the last maybe year or two, I actually kind of was dealing with it today. The nostalgia, but then kind of shifting into actual grief. Like not just thinking, oh, we had such a nice time back then, but more like this deep want and feeling powerless to go back to that time.
Yeah.
And I was torturing myself going through my mom's Facebook photos and looking at, you know, our last 2 years in Singapore and the trips we took and the people that came and visited and all of the fun things we did, and just be like, oh, I just wish so deeply that we could go back to then, and not just like going on a trip like next year or the year after, but specifically that time, like how our life was then.
Yeah.
So I think for sure that's part of the grief that I experience. And like maybe if you like were to talk about like goodbyes and things like that, I'm not really sure how to place that one.
The grief, or?
Well, if saying all of those goodbyes really still gives me grief, or if it really grieved me in the first place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was very, I mean, I don't know if we already talked about this. Maybe it's like in a later episode, but our whole thing with object permanence.
Yeah, I think we wanted to get into it more. Like we've mentioned it before in other episodes.
Yeah.
But do you mean to say that, like, have you shut yourself off for the grief, or do you just not feel it because it doesn't do anything to you, or do you know?
I don't know. I feel like maybe shut off, but like, I mean, I struggle to imagine what it's like for somebody, like a colleague of mine, a friend. She's immigrating to Spain next month, and I'm going to miss her, but I know life goes on. And for her, it's the first time immigrating, and we've talked about this, and I really like talking to her about this. She listens to the podcast, so hi. I'm really gonna miss you. But I wonder what it's like for her, having not moved around before like that,
to immigrate.
That feeling of missing people and maybe that grief really is there, like that you really like think about it and you feel it and you're like, oh, I miss this person and miss that person. Or if it's just also out of sight, out of mind. Like I can't really imagine it not being for me, like it was for me always like, oh, well now I've left, so it's a whole new life.
I think it depends on the person and the age that you do this, because you had the out of sight, out of mind, and I didn't as much.
Mm.
I am like mom and dad, very nostalgic, always thinking back on better times, missing everybody, even people that like I don't talk to now anymore because like legit things happened and I don't want contact anymore. I can still get really nostalgic to them.
To how they were.
Exactly,
Yeah.
the relationship that you had. Um, but if we look at, mom, for example, she's a third culture kid as well, but when she was 10, she moved to the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
I think when she was like 22 or 23, she moved abroad with dad.
Yeah.
And she really had that feeling of missing when they went to live in Asia.
Yeah.
And eventually dad sends her back for a few weeks. Like, you just go home, see that everybody's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And that really helped her.
Yeah.
And I feel like that maybe helped us a little bit as well when we moved to the Netherlands. Going back to Singapore, after 6 months.
That Christmas break, yeah.
It felt like coming home and knowing like, oh, hey, this part of my life still exists. And then it was a little bit easier to be in the Netherlands again.
But that's different now. Because what you say, 100% correct. Because we would go back home, the house that we left.
Yeah.
Our parents lived there.
Our
dog was there. Our friends were
Jenny
there.
was there.
Yeah. And now, if we were to go back, it's not like that anymore.
That was really weird because I went back 2 years ago with dad.
Yeah. 2 years ago already?
1.5 years.
Jeez.
In November, it'll be 2 years. Time goes so fast.
Yeah.
Me and dad went back, and he had already been back a few times, and I hadn't since mom and dad moved here. And we stayed in a hotel, which was already weird because, I'm used to being in our house and waking up in the morning and mom being there making coffee, Kaya wandering around.
Yeah.
And now I was there with dad in a hotel, and we followed completely different like rhythms because dad wanted to stay in the Dutch time zone because his friends were working over day, so he would sleep during the day and he'd party at night.
Yeah, he was such like a teenager.
Exactly. But none of my friends were being up at night, so I would go out during the day. So me and dad, we hung out like there were a few hours every day that we would see each other, but a lot of the time I was alone as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we were staying in Havelock instead of West Coast. Very different place. We didn't
That's where
spend
we
much
stayed
time.
The first 2 months.
I know,
living
terrible.
there.
But that didn't feel like, it felt like home, but it didn't feel like home because that's not where we grew up.
Yeah.
Even though it's like,
a different side of town.
Yeah, it's really close, but
yeah,
it had such a weird feel. And I said this to mom as well, like I really, really missed having her there because I'd never been in Singapore without mom. And it felt wrong to not have her there and to be drinking coffee together and, wandering around Orchard together.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Going to Gem and Westgate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the car, in the Fortuner. I miss that car. There's just so many good memories that the whole feeling of Haraeth that we've talked about before, you miss something that's not there anymore. And the more time goes by, the farther away it gets.
Yep, but the baggage gets heavier.
Yeah. Because like you mentioned before when we were like talking about this episode, crap, I'm blanking. The wanting to go back but feeling stuck.
Like you can't go back to that time, like the nostalgia, do you mean?
No, but like even now, wanting to go back to the expat life and living like that again, but feeling stuck because we've been here for so long, and maybe also being scared to leave behind what we have here, what we mentioned in,
I feel like episode 5?
7, I think.
7 maybe? I don't know. It's becoming a blur. We're at that point now.
Yeah, episode 5. It was this, it was that one where, the whole idea of you want to, but you're afraid to lose what you have here, so you're constantly split.
Yeah. Constantly thinking, what if? I know mom talks about that like a lot. She says that to dad a lot as well when he's considering traveling, is if you're not going to do it, you're constantly be thinking, well, what if, and it's going to drive you nuts. And I'm noticing that with me, on the one hand, like when dealing with like that grief or the nostalgia that I was talking about earlier, is constantly like, oh, what if I appreciated it more? What if I was more aware of everything that would happen? What if I did things differently? What if? On the other hand, what if I just decided to move back? What if I go back for a visit? How will it be? What if I never go back? Will it make me go totally nuts, you know?
But are you applying that now in your everyday life as well?
What do you mean?
Well, you're constantly thinking, what if I had been more aware that I was there and more thankful and whatever?
Actually,
But
I'm not.
because, like, you
Yeah.
just moved
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You moved in with your partner, and you mentioned feeling already like a little bit the nostalgia of, oh, you're gonna miss living with mom and dad and the coffee moments
And Kaya.
and Kaya. But were you aware? Like, were you consciously living? Does I don't know how to word it, but
Like living intentionally?
yeah, were you living intentionally? Because even though we're not in Singapore right now, there's a lot of things to experience right now that we'll miss when it passes.
You are 100% right, but I am 100% not doing that.
I feel like it's very difficult as well.
Yeah, because good point, but I do realize that like I'm kind of stuck in that time. Um like you're just holding on to that time, what that felt like, what we got to experience, what we got to do, how much you miss it, hoping that you dream about it at night so that you can be back and experience for your feelings, like experience it.
Yeah.
um I've actually had like multiple dreams in the past few years of me waking up in my bedroom in our Faber house, and then waking up all sad like, wait, I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
um because that room, it's the first time I ever spent like longer than 2 years like in one room. I had that for 6 years, and eventually we remodeled it and we made it all like teenagery
Painted
and
it purple.
painted it
All
purple.
of the
Yeah,
Justin
the
Bieber One
goal to have
Direction
a
posters.
Tumblr room. Tumblr was like my biggest inspiration.
My goodness, yeah.
Yeah. um so I feel like other than that, maybe life is just kind of like going through the motions, which is not the best route to take. I feel, because then probably in about 5 or 10 years from now, we're like, oh, that was such a good time. I wish I appreciated it more.
Because you'll never be as young as you are at this moment.
Well, yeah, but I've never also been this old.
Fair, yeah.
I don't know who old Shauna is. Like, I'm 28. I'm going on 30 in a year and a half, and I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? Anyway, sidetracked.
Like usual,
Yeah.
that's fine.
But that grief, it's so hard to also describe, because I mean, you know exactly what I mean. Ilona will know exactly what we mean. Garo will know what we mean. But how do you explain to someone that didn't grow up like we did, like that deep seated feeling of missing this place you once called home, even though it wasn't your home, but to you it was home.
Yeah.
And it was as misplaced as hell, but because you're not from there, but you can't go back, and everything in you just wants to go back, and if you go back nothing will be the same. And what I've mentioned multiple times throughout our series is actually mentally smacking myself over the head for being like, why didn't I just go to the freaking Hawker Center? Why did I go to McDonald's? Things like that, and just realize how lucky we were to grow up that way. And I mean, we thought going to like Thailand 3 times a year was really normal, which it was for us in that setting. I mean, here you go to like France or Belgium, and just to put it in comparison. But I was looking at pictures of those holidays today, like, oh, I missed that hotel and I missed that beach, and that we would late at night take the tuk-tuk down the street and go to a center, and that it would take mom and dad 30 minutes of walking around to pick a freaking place to eat
and then choose the first place we passed.
Yeah.
That will always be a pet peeve.
Yeah. Enough pictures of us eating at Lau Pasat with all of the different guests we had, and just, I don't know, it sounds really ironic, but it fills you with emptiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I the weird thing is, like, it's difficult to put words to it, but I know exactly what you mean. This heaviness, this emptiness that you don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just gotta feel it. But how do you explain to people when they ask, how you're doing, that's the reason you're not doing too good?
Yeah, like, it's like, I'm fine. I'm just like in this deep-rooted emptiness of my past.
I'm in the feels.
Yeah, I'm in the feels of nostalgia and where I used to live, and I can
who I used to be.
Yeah, who I used to be, and what I didn't know yet back then. And yeah, you can't really
But I
just.
mean, maybe that's life in general. Maybe that's not just excuse me. Maybe that's not just TCKs, because I think if you were to go around and ask people in their 40s and their 50s, 60s, I think so many people would be like, oh, but if I knew then what I know now, I would have done it so differently.
For sure, yeah.
There's also, okay, so remember how in English in high school, you'd get like these daily writing prompts?
I'm pretty sure I just blocked that out of my memory, but
Like
sure,
you
go
get
ahead.
into class and there's an assignment on the board, and that's like
Oh yeah.
the assignment you do while everybody's walking into class, and then the class will start
Yeah.
after that, you know?
Yeah.
Um, one of them was a video that our English teacher in high school
Mm-hmm.
showed, and it was about xenozyne, which is not an official word in the dictionary,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the idea that the older you get, the quicker time goes.
Which is true though, really.
Yeah, but so it's not an official thing or a proven thing, I think,
Mm-hmm.
but just the feeling that you're on a carousel and it doesn't stop spinning, but it keeps going faster and keeps going faster, and you can't get a grip on it. Because look at us now. It's August 12th
Mm-hmm.
when we're recording this. We've been live for 1.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
We started talking about this in February.
Mm-hmm.
My kid is already past half a year. He's closer to his first birthday than he is to being born.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it was yesterday that I was pregnant, or telling you guys I was pregnant.
Yep, and the whole culture shock therapy thing that didn't even exist yet.
I can't
Little
get.
did we know. 1 year later, we've been working on that.
You can't get a grip on time. It's just slipping through your fingers. And then
Slipping through
yeah,
my
I was
fingers.
thinking, shout out to Abba.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a thing for everybody. Like third culture kids may experience it differently or be more aware of it, because we're constantly being,
Well, from our youth, maybe more.
yeah, but we're constantly being like confronted with where we're not anymore
Mm-hmm.
and what we miss, because you have so many things to compare to.
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking maybe it's not accurate, but this is like the what I'm thinking is because like it's from our youth, because how you grow up and being confronted with the things you don't have anymore. It's literally like you're being 50 and confronted that you're not as flexible as you were when you were
Yeah,
12. Kind of like that same thing,
yeah,
like, oh, um, that life is far away from me.
and it
Mm,
is far away now.
yeah, yeah. It's been 8 years. I don't like it. Yeah. I really never thought that we would stick it out this long, to be honest.
You thought we'd be back
Well,
overseas.
especially you. When we moved here, you were
Yeah.
like, we landed and you're like, get me out of here.
I still I don't like I like airports, and I'll never feel a big difference between the arrivals or the departures,
Mm,
except Schiphol. I don't
mm,
like being in the arrivals. I like being in the departures.
mm. Yeah, because the Schiphol's arrivals reminds us of the time that we really did say goodbye to our life. Well,
Yeah.
that sounds a bit too dramatic. I mean like our TCK life. I don't mean like actual
I
life.
love how you like what do you call it? Like scold yourself.
I heard that I was like, before people think that we were like walking the plank, that was not the situation.
No, I feel like it's just so heavy.
Mm,
The arrivals hall in Schiphol.
yeah.
Um,
How did you experience that? Because we left a few days after each other to Holland.
yeah. I mean, we got into this a little bit.
Yeah, but how did you experience landing in Holland and walking through the airport having said goodbye to that life?
I absolutely hated it.
Yeah, were you dealing with it like really aware?
I cried the entire flight, I think.
Mm.
And mom was so sweet to me. Like she was just constantly comforting me, and that helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Also distracting me. And the thing we mentioned earlier about we landed and we went to family right away because we stayed with Oma the first few days. Um, and they were all excited that we were there. Our aunt and nephew were there,
Mm.
but um, I was just not happy to be there. Not because of them, but because it wasn't a holiday. Like the moment we landed here, you knew
Mm.
there's no return flight. And I hated that idea because I always liked coming here and knowing we have the return flight.
Yeah, we're going back home.
And we would come here for 6 weeks, during the summers. And then the first 2 weeks were really fun. And then after 2 weeks, you'd already start being like, okay, well, I'm missing home.
Yeah, we'd get bored.
Yeah, and the closer we got to flying back home, the more excited we were, like, oh, we're going home.
Yeah.
And it really felt like going home. And it never felt like going home going here. So, are you like...
Stop.
And I think it still doesn't fully feel like going home being here. Like, on the one hand, I love my house, we're getting rooted here.
Yeah.
But it's
you have a good life here.
Yeah,
like,
but it's not
to do with that. Yeah.
That we had.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anything will ever compare because, that's the best experience we had. So topping it is very hard. And I don't have it bad, I'm very blessed with everything here. But it's not 100% what I want.
What do you want? What do you want?
I don't know, because then you get into the whole thing again of being afraid to let go and, taking a chance.
Very cyclical thinking.
Yeah, but that's a bit of the problem of, I think, how my brain works. Like, the one thing constantly gets to the other, and it's like Tom and Jerry chasing each other. I've always been a never mind person. And I regret that. I know I always regret it afterwards, but in the moment, it's too scary and I won't do it. And I am afraid that it'll be the same thing with the expat life. Then never mind, I'm content here. Weak ass. Like, I'm disappointed in myself for this, but I'm afraid I'll be the never mind person for moving abroad again as well. That I'll just stay here and I won't pursue it. It's always going to be nagging at me, but I won't pursue it when I'm 80, when I'm dying. I'm going to be like, shit,
Yeah.
Biggest life regret.
What if I did go?
Yeah. And I think there's a lot, I can have a very good life here. I have a very good life. It's not less. It's just,
It's just different.
Yeah. What about you?
What I want?
Yeah.
I never know. I am a very much recognized, really bad decision maker.
Very much recognized? Have you had multiple people tell you that or something?
No, I can never make decisions. I am known for my continuous pros and cons lists.
And you always see both sides to it.
Which is killing. I wish I was a very black and white person.
Trust me, it's not better, because then you still see both sides. Like, at least I'm black and white, but I still see both sides. But they're so contradicting to each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just bad decision makers,
Well, I wish what I would want is to actually go back to the year of 2015 and just freeze time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all good and fun. I know that. Very much aware of the issues we had there as well, but I would just like to lock myself in that time and with the things I know now.
Honestly, I feel like I would even settle for, if God were to ask you, you can have one thing, what would it be? I would even settle for, just give me a day, 24 hours to be there again.
Relive it.
Yeah. And let it be the most normal day. It doesn't have to be a day where we had 5 different exotic plans. Just being there. Taking the bus. Like, when we visited, me and Dad, I took our old route via Clementi to school, and I walked that whole part. And just walking there, walking past the highway, I felt like no time had gone by. Even though 6 years had gone by, I was a totally different person. But for a moment, I was just me again,
Yeah, Tessa walking back from school. Yeah. To go do homework until 3 a.m.
And it just felt like a little glimpse of, hey.
Yeah, back home.
Yeah, but also being able to go back in time. And at the same time, it was weird because I walked into school and there were like 3 people that I recognized. I didn't recognize anybody, because obviously they're all new students. Everybody that we know has graduated. The teachers that we know, a lot of them have left. It was really cute though. I went to the front office and one of Mom's friends, she saw me and she like ran up to me and gave me this huge hug and she gave me gifts for all of us. And
I still have that mug.
Yeah, me too. It's my favorite mug. I love it very much. But I feel like now I've also have a lot more. I put a lot more worth in objects. Like, I bought these
You've become materialistic.
No. Objects that will remind me of Singapore. So I bought
Mhm.
these Chinese teacups that, it's not like we ever used them when we were living there. It doesn't have any significance for me, purely that I bought them in Singapore. And a bottle opener that I have. And I have this like morning robe. I never wear it, but just having it because it has the print on,
Mhm.
I have a lot of those things now.
I have that with the Starbucks cup you got me, that holographic one.
Yeah.
Um, Nobody's allowed to touch it because it's my Singapore cup, and that's where I got my tattoo idea from with the orchids. Be like, it's
Tribute to
like
Singapore.
a permanent, like it's a permanent part of you on the outside as it is on the inside.
It's part of your identity.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like that we both have Singapore tattoos.
Yeah, and on this part of our arm as well.
But they're so different. You have an orchid, and I wanted to get an orchid. I just couldn't figure out how. And
well, here's an idea.
I'm not going to get the same tattoo as you. We can do that another day. And I like that a lot of people will ask me, like, hey, what are those numbers on your arm? And I can be like, oh, that's my house in Singapore, It's not my house anymore, but
yeah,
it's where we lived and the most important place.
Yeah.
I was even like at the physio for my arm, and he was massaging my arm exactly there. He's like, "Oh, I'm just seeing this. What is this?" And got into all these conversations. How his dad like traveled to Singapore super much.
Oh,
and
really?
It just makes me happy, even though I don't know his dad. I don't know what he did there. I think he was like a journalist, So it has nothing to do with our experience, but just knowing that somebody has. It's like you've experienced the most amazing thing, and somebody else got a glimpse of it, and that makes you happy because you loved it so much you want to share it with others.
Yeah. No, but I get that 100% because I have a few colleagues that have at different times gone to Singapore. And most recently, one of my colleagues, her boyfriend went on a work trip to Singapore. And she's like, oh, he's going. Do you have some ideas for him where to eat? And I was like, like,
Bro.
I'm like, I am now vicariously living through him. I'm enjoying that he's going to Lau Pa Sat. I'm enjoying that he's going to Orchard Road. I'm enjoying that he's going to Marina Bay Sands. Like,
yeah.
I'm just like, it makes me so happy because I'm like, oh, and then she would be like, oh, he went there and he really had a nice time and he loved the food. It's like, oh, I love that. That makes me so happy. Like, I wish so much that I could go and be that or do that. But the fact that you get to then help someone, make decisions and like where to go or what to eat or whatever, and that they like it, you're like, oh, it just gives you such a good feeling.
So there's I forgot who it was. This one person, I don't know them very well, but they posted photos that they went to Malaysia. Oh yeah, it was okay. The ex of an old classmate of mine. So I spoke to this person like 2 times in my life. And a very nice person. But they went to Malaysia on a trip, and I got mad. I was like, you don't have the rights. Asia is mine.
I want to go.
But also this thing of like, oh, but you don't know because you're a tourist, And it sounds so degrading, but
I get that though because I have it as well. Like, what do you even know? You don't like what are you listening to these tourist guys? You're not supposed. You just need to live like a local.
Yeah, like it's really weird and it's very misplaced, but also this jealousy of I should go, like, why are you there? And then looking through the photos, and I saw that, like, in their photos, the Batu Caves. And the freaking monkeys, like, I hate those monkeys, but...
Yeah, they're cruel, they're nasty, they're unrelenting.
Exactly. Yeah. But even seeing that, then I'm like, oh, you don't know. Yeah. Because I was there.
Did you try to feed the monkey? Were you being dumb?
But the funny thing is, we're not the experts. Like, we're just like them. We were tourists there too.
Yeah.
But because we identify so much more with Asia, I feel like we've laid claim or something.
Yeah, yeah, I get that because even though we 100% do not know it all, we can sometimes feel like
we know it all.
Yeah.
Because we will probably know more than the tourists visiting.
Yeah. And it's our passion area. It's a part of us.
It really lights a fire in us.
Yeah, that we loved so much, that we miss so much, and that we love to talk about and reminisce on and really enjoyed. So that when there's a touch of that, we just like go all in. Yeah.
Yeah, I always tell everybody, like, go to Singapore. You want a good place to travel? Go to Singapore. Or if they ask me, like, oh, you grew up abroad, how was that? I'm like, do it. If you have the chance, do it.
Yeah.
You're never going to regret trying.
Yeah, that's what I told my colleague who's immigrating as well. Like the least you can do is just try. You don't know how it's going to work.
But the dumb thing is, like, can you do it? We're both still here after 8 years. We could have at any moment gotten our stuff packed up and left. I'm honestly, now that I'm okay, so now that I'm married and I have 2 dogs and I have a house and I have a kid, I'm realizing all the freedom I had that I didn't use, that I don't have now anymore.
I understand, yes.
Um,
On a different level though, but
and I'm realizing, like, I really felt stuck here when I was studying. Like, I
mm-hmm.
had to be here. And now I'm realizing I could have just said, like, hey, I want to go abroad for half a year. I'm going to go do that.
Yeet.
And I remember dad would support that. Remember, also before he went to college, like, go do a gap year, go serve, go
Yeah.
work, you know? And we were too afraid to do it for some reason.
Yeah.
Even though I think, oh, dang, if we had done that,
Yeah.
I mean, our lives would be so. I might not even be here right now, like in this house, because I might not have never met Koen, and you wouldn't have met Dylan. But it makes me sad that we didn't take that chance,
Mm-hmm.
and that I didn't use the freedom I had back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a lot of emotional baggage fees that may apply being a third culture kid, especially having moved back.
Yeah. And I feel like I genuinely do feel like the older you get, the more things start to make sense and that you have
Yeah.
aha moments that you're like, oh, realizing the depth of the situation, the gravity of the situation.
And I think the whole maturing part, realizing the impact of things.
Yeah.
You know, as a kid, you don't realize that you realize impact as far as your frontal lobe allows you to.
Yeah.
But now, so much more seeing like what it did for us in a positive way, and obviously the negative bits. But what a good life we had there.
Mm. Well,
and
I
what
mean,
a good life we still have. You know, not to
yeah,
take
yeah,
away
yeah,
from
for
that,
sure,
but
for sure. But like, we've really been getting into like, yeah, the emotional baggage and like the nostalgia and grief specifically. Would you see nostalgia black and white as well as inherently good or inherently bad?
ooh, I don't feel like it. What do you call it? I need the translation. Het levert niks op.
It doesn't give you anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there in that sense, there's no benefit to nostalgia
yeah,
because it makes you sad, it
yeah.
makes you reminisce, and it doesn't let you live in the moment because you're so
Mm,
busy looking to the past, you're not enjoying the present,
yeah, I
which will probably
agree.
cause you to in the future be sad that you weren't enjoying the, you know.
Yeah,
So it's a continuous cycle,
yeah.
and at the
Good
same
point.
time, I think God gave us nostalgia because we do very often reminisce all of the blessings, all of the good things, and I still experience enjoyment from that. Because
Mm.
yes, it's very painful and it's sad that we don't have it anymore, but I'm so thankful I got to experience that. And like you said, talking about these things also gives us a certain fashion,
Dopamine rush.
passion and fire, passion, more fashion. Sorry. Do you know what I mean? More
Yeah,
fashion.
of course. Who doesn't?
Is it more fashion or is it something
More
else?
energy, more passion, more passion,
Passion.
more energy. Yeah.
um, so in that sense, I think it's good, but I think it might. It's not that black or white. What do you think?
I'm always gray, so I would say it's gray. Yeah, sorry.
So it's black and white
It's
because
black and white. It's donker-wit.
social battery going down.
Yeah, no. I definitely recognize what you say is the negative part of it is definitely you feel the deep sadness. You don't really know what to do with it. You feel like you can't do anything with
There's
it.
no outlet for it.
And that feels a bit powerless. Like I was asking ChatGPT today, what do I do with this?
You were really asking
Yeah,
chat.
I'm not shitting you. I actually asked ChatGPT, this is what I'm feeling. What do I do with it? And then they come up with like this journal that you can keep. I'm like, that's not going to help me. I want to go back.
Okay, so basically you're looking for what you want to hear. Is chat to tell you go back to Singapore, spend all your savings, and go.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was actually talking with my colleagues about the use of chat, like in everyday life,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my colleagues said like she went through a therapy traject, and sometimes there's like some questions that will come up that you don't need to go back to therapy for, but you just need to like sparren.
Yeah, talk it out.
Yeah,
Actually.
and then she'll ask those things to ChatGPT, and that it helps. And I was so like, well, I've only been using it for like practical things, like, hey, I'm traveling with a baby. What do I need to bring? And And I find it funny that, you and her also use it for the emotional side of things. And
I've actually only discovered that a few weeks ago, that I was at work and I was feeling all kinds of things and I didn't want to talk to anybody, so I was like, what the hell? Might as well. And then I had like this most interesting conversation with ChatGPT and I was like, damn. Thanks, bro.
Did it help?
Yeah.
Like, did it give you new insights?
No, but it talks to you like it's a human being.
Yeah.
That just understands you.
But was it about the whole nostalgia thing? Or
it was not about the nostalgia. Was it about the nostalgia? It was either that or something I was dealing with like at work on a personal level. Either one of those two. But then they're like validating and like, these are tips and like, do you want me to work out this graph for you or like make a plan for you or like do all, and then it will make like a pictogram like with in your themes and colors and just how like what makes you happy. It's a little bit terrifying, but it really helps in the moments. Yeah.
Okay, so next time I'm feeling nostalgic, I should just ask chat to help
Literally,
me.
I'm gonna see if I can find it. What I asked. Hold on. Oh, here's my conversation about tattoo cream. It's called Dealing with Nostalgia. I asked, hey, question. How can I deal with extreme feelings of nostalgia towards my life I previously lived?
That sounds like you reincarnated.
I came back as a bug and I want to go back. It comes with like all of these topics,
yeah,
and works out those topics, like different practical things you can do, like name it and normalize it, and then how you do that, separate what you miss from when you miss, bring pieces of the past into the present, like when I make butter chicken.
Yeah, but I feel like those are very practical little things that we can do. Yeah. Because we're never going to bring Singapore here, in the sense that you're never going to feel here what you felt in Singapore.
Except there's one exception.
In the Toko?
In the Oriental. That feels like walking through Fair Price.
Fair. But, you're still hearing a bunch of Dutch people talking around you.
Yeah, and that annoys me. I'm like, you don't know shit. The guy tried to tell me what char siu was, and I'm like, do you know what it is?
Dude.
What are you trying to tell me, bro?
But I feel like that's the same thing as what I was saying about like the people in Malaysia. Mm-hmm. In the Oriental, you feel like you have not the upper hand, but just like
all the info.
Yeah, like you're better. And I don't, it's not a very charming aspect. Yeah. It's something that I'm proud of.
It's not, but a good character trait. Yeah. Like, why are you looking? I know exactly where everything is.
Yeah, and that's why. What are you trying to be cool or exotic? You're just Dutch.
Exactly. Oh, there you go with your bows. Like, everybody eats bows. Like, have you tried this? Yeah. So on that note,
I feel like there's like so much more we could uncover that we might, should do maybe next week. That we maybe should do. Well, my goodness, my brain is fried. Like,
I feel you. And it's good because we have a bunch of topics written out and we're really not good at keeping to the topics.
So every single time we still have a lot of things we could talk about, which is good because I'm honestly thinking sometimes like, what happens when we run out of things to talk about?
Yeah.
I don't want to become a podcast that just basically says the same thing every time. And I feel like that's a danger zone with this topic because it always boils down to the same things.
Yeah.
But seeing as how distracted we get every time, I feel like that's a good thing because we have more to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. And we really are trying to keep it around the 30, maybe 40 minutes.
I think we're
on. Yeah. We're needing to wrap it up because, not only y'all's attention spans, but our attention spans are just really not that brilliant.
I don't think the quality of the podcast will, be very high if we keep going right now.
Yeah.
But basically, to sum it up, there's a lot of emotional baggage fees that may apply. And I think it's fair to say that we both still really struggle with that sometimes.
Still paying off the debt.
Yeah. Damn. That's deep.
I am... Ow! I am...
Literally, you are ow!
I am deepness.
Emotionally and physically, you are ow.
Yeah.
we want to thank you guys for tuning in to yet another episode.
We hoped you enjoyed our cozy chat.
And that you can relate to it, or, you're just enjoying listening to get some insight into another third culture kid in your life.
Or if you just really enjoy listening to our pain, that, whatever floats your boat.
If you know someone going through these nostalgic periods, just give them a hug. Tell them it's okay, and encourage them to do something that makes them feel like they're home again, like cooking butter chicken or booking a flight, or
there's a bit of financial discrepancy.
Well, yeah, but the small things to bring the home that you miss where you are.
Yeah.
Because I think that's how you get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Until you're feeling happy again. And get in the sun. Have a walk. That's always. You're not looking impressed, but the like, the physical exercise aspect is always good for your brain.
Yeah. And you can process.
Exactly. So we're going to ask you to like, comment, share, subscribe, the whole ram bam, because that's how, we get more popular and more views.
Because we do it for the views.
The whole circulatory, thing. This is not getting better. Okay. Thank you very much for listening. Next week, we're going to be getting into even more on
things we don't know yet.
Well, I mean, we know.
What are we getting into?
I don't know. It's on the computer. It's not in my head.
Is it Heraeth next week?
It could be. We haven't decided, but Heraeth is one of the...
We've touched on that so many times. We should be getting into that next week.
Yeah. Okay, next week is Heraeth. Heraeth is the missing of a home that is no longer there. Ooh. Thank you so much for listening.
See you next week.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.